Hey guys, how you doing? It's Will and Ben from Bar Media. Hope you're doing really well. Doing our Q&A, social media Q&A, answering your questions. So if you've got a question, don't forget, put it in the comment section and reach out to us, let us know. We've got our plant bowl of truth. For those of you who don't know, this is our plant bowl of truth. We've chucked in questions and we're randomly just going to pick them out. We don't know what's going to come out. Obviously, we've got an idea what's in there, but we don't know which one's coming out.
It's been so long since we wrote those questions, I don't even really know what's in there anymore.
To be fair,
we were just saying before we started the video that it's been so long since it's been 2 months since we did the last video. Christmas got in the way.
Then
we upgraded all the studio stuff.
Yeah.
And all that.
We've got a green screen right behind you. You can't see this. And of course, this is our new setup because the last video.
Oh yeah, they haven't seen a video in this.
Was in other.
You might have seen the other content that we produce in this studio area, but not anything from the internal Bar Media
other
stuff.
content.
Anyway.
These people won't know what this other content is. It's like a mystery. Other content.
Anyway, yes. Plant bowl of truth, it's your go to pick out.
Okay.
A question, I don't know whose go it is, but I'm going to say it's your go.
I'll have a go. Let's do it. All right, here we go.
Can you not read?
This is a game for someone going joke, isn't it? I struggle to read Will's handwriting. But hey, you probably can't read mine.
Oh, I can't actually.
Okay, so the question is, why is social media important for business? Boom.
That's a very broad question, actually.
Massively.
It's
quite a tough question to answer in quite a succinct.
I was going to say there's loads of different things.
Video.
It is hard actually because there's so many different areas you could cover, not only for like individuals, but for big corporations, for marketing reasons, It's just.
Well, just from a high level perspective, why is social media important for business?
I think simply in one answer, it's where everyone is looking these days. Whereas 20 years ago, people would be reading the newspaper, reading magazines. Now people are scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through Instagram.
Yeah.
On Twitter, on Snapchat, on wherever it might be, wherever it is, it's an online presence these days, and that's where people are looking.
Definitely.
That was a good phrase. But no, you'll go and you sit on the bus. That's what people are doing. For instance, it's just where the majority of people's eyes are, and therefore it's obviously a very strong place to market. If
Definitely,
that's where the eyeballs are.
And for me, I think it's a couple of things. It's exactly like what you're saying, and this is what was like a revelation for me. And I've said this many other times. I'm probably going to bore people to death who've heard this, but I'll say it again because it's really important. I wasn't into social media. I wasn't really interested. But I sort of saw.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I didn't see people before, but everyone was like that, and they're just constantly on their phones, on the buses, on wherever, and it was like, whoa, this is actually where we need to be in terms of a platform.
Exactly. If you can find because I think the strongest difference between generic marketing in things like newspapers and magazines and TV adverts is they're very blatant adverts. I think what's shifted now with social media is how you advertise, so that's where everyone's eyes are, but people don't necessarily get it that it's a different form of advertising and marketing. If you can subtly get your brand and your message in front of someone on social, because people are scrolling through social media for leisure reasons, really watching YouTube videos for leisure, or just casually anyway. So if you can find a way to put your brand in front of those people in a subtle way that kind of sells your brand message, then I think it's a whole new world. Like it's massively powerful. Something you can, and it's also allows you the amount of analytics and in-depth analysis you can do of your audience demographic is fundamentally different. Whereas in a magazine, you'd be able to measure the reach. We deliver to roughly 50,000 people in this area, roughly. But it is just that, it's an approximation. Whereas social media, you can run a campaign and you can drill right down into the metrics of age, gender, interests, locations, a combination of those metrics to really form a more definitive picture of your audience and who you're marketing to.
100%.
And that makes advertising more accurate, so therefore cheaper. You can spend less and get the right amount of people. As I said, it's too much to cover in one video.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think there's a lot of people who probably have a misconception or their own prejudices against the social media for business purposes.
Definitely.
But fundamentally, there's a reason why, everyone's sort of, I guess, paranoid about the Trump effect with Facebook advertising. If they think that, a country could be, sort of steered in a particular direction in terms of, the way the propaganda happened with, online advertising,
Absolutely.
then if that can impact an American election, it can have an impact on a business. There's no way about it. And I think the other thing is, I think people sometimes confuse social media and social media marketing.
Yes.
And don't think of it as it's just digital marketing.
Yes.
Whether it's a website or whether it's this or whether it's that, it's just this is the platform.
This is the online presence. Yeah. I think it's just that it is a complete online presence. You shouldn't have a social media presence without having some sort of website. You shouldn't have a website without the set of social media handles to go along with it. I think one of the biggest things that people don't understand about social media, that don't get it at all, is the idea that people, I don't want to go on social media because I don't want to see what someone's grand's doing on a Tuesday. They think that that's all it's used for. Is it's used for seeing what your relatives are doing. I think that's one of the big. I think that's a big hurdle you had to get over, is seeing it as just that and not everything. I think it's amazing what you can do on the internet these days. It's used as the new TV. It's used as a podcast listener. It's used for there's so many uses for that online digital presence that it's naive to think of it as just social networking. It's so much more.
Yeah, no, 100%. So specifically, so why then, or how does a business tap into it to actually leverage themselves? Is it just about marketing? Is it about PR? Is it about?
I think it's about all of them.
Getting a connection with their audience. What is it? And why is that important?
I think it's about all of them, right? I think number one step is just get on the. So if you want to tap into it, you've got to be able to have the ability to put yourself in front of those audiences. So you've got to get on the platforms. It is about PR. It's changed again. It's taken a more personal approach. So whereas it was you'd communicate with someone as a company, now social media is sort of leaning towards, like if you go on the best social media presences for customer services, it's like Janice from customer services is replying to you as if she was having a chat with you. It's much more personal, which is important for social media. So yeah, once you're on the audience, it's all about communication, replying to comments, actively almost forming a community around your brand. So it's no longer just about selling a product. It's about creating that brand awareness, creating that community that will share the same message. And off of that, you will make sales and be able to push those products or services out the door.
And having a bit of strategy and a plan around that.
And of course, if you want to do it really well, having some strategy. That's another thing, is people will jump on social media, make a couple of posts, I didn't get anything, that didn't do anything, and then they'll move on because they don't think it's worth it. But like anything, it's having a proper strategy in place to make sure that you hit those key milestones.
Awesome.
Brilliant. As I said, there's so many, as you said, there's so many things to talk about.
But hopefully that's given you guys a snippet of sort of our thoughts on it. Like we said, it's a pretty high level topic, but love to hear what you guys think. So if you've got any comments, any thoughts, put them in the comment section below.
Any particular areas of what we just talked about, it goes into
100%
much deeper levels.
Definitely. But as always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and do all those amazing things.
Cheers, guys.